Where is this? And what is there now? I found this old photograph from the early 1980s and wondered where it had been taken, what was it of, and what has happened to the area. I followed the clues, identified what and where it was, what had happened, and it is an amazing view into the past and what remains today. Please stay to the end for all the detail. I hope you enjoy. Please like and subscribe. Brought to you by Eclectic Experience, change seen through images. I have been taking photos for over 40 years, mainly of buildings and places, and there are some I have absolutely no idea where they were taken. I will work through them, and if they are interesting, make a video on them, as I did with this one. I took this picture in the early 1980s. I had never seen anything like it. It was like a small Tardis. This is how I found the answers. The picture was taken long before digital cameras, so it was taken on film, and this can actually be seen from the deterioration in colour on the left hand side. Unfortunately, this also means there is no data stored with the image. So the next step was to look at photos taken around it. Unfortunately, they are all blurred pictures of 1980s teenagers in London, England. However, this was sufficient to trigger my memory, and I think we went to the London Dungeon that was then located in the Arches under London Bridge Station in Southwark. We went all over the place on foot and by tube and ended up in a cafe in Leicester Square after looking at Piccadilly Circus. So we must have covered a fair area, and that would not necessarily be done in a logical way. So the clues would all need to come from the photo. All I knew was that it was in central London. So what is it? I googled police boxes in London and found from photos it is actually called a police stand, and there is one in Piccadilly Circus. So in 2023 I went to Piccadilly Circus and filmed this. The call boxes, or in this case a call post, are from a time before mobile phones and were available for a police officer on the beat to communicate with the police station, when, as well as ringing, the light would flash. I understand they are also available for the public to call the police in case of an emergency. The top part, behind the notice, contained the phone. Then the next handle down opened out as a shelf to write on, and the bottom area could be used to store equipment, such as first aid. They were phased out from the 1960s, when police got radios. Comparing the 1982 image with the 2023 one in Piccadilly Circus, with them side by side, the first observation is the different signs on the doors. The 2023 sign makes it clear it is not in use, but amazingly, although a bit blurred, the 1982 sign shows that that phone was still active. Next, looking at the colour, the blues are quite different. Moving to the light, on the top of one of them is clear and on the other red. And on one it has a crest at the top and the other has MP, which I assume stands for Metropolitan Police. Looking closely at the original picture, it has the City of London crest at the top. The City of London Police are actually separate to the Metropolitan Police and operate, as the name suggests, in the City of London, known as the Square Mile, as shown here on the map. This narrows down the search, as we can exclude all areas covered by the Metropolitan Police and just focus on the City of London. The next step is to find if these boxes still exist in the City of London. Based on the not in use sign on the Piccadilly box, we can assume they will only still be there for historic reasons. So the next check is of Historic England's database for listed police call boxes in the city. It turns out there are 8 Grade 2 listed police call boxes in the City of London. So in 2023 I walked around and photographed all the remaining police call stands to see if any could be the one I was after, and these are the result. And this is the first one I found at Aldgate in front of St Botolph's Church. This isn't the one I'm looking for, as the background is unfortunately all wrong. This is the one outside Liverpool Street Railway Station in a very prominent position, with the box looking almost identical to the first one we found. This one is near the old NatWest Tower, Tower 42, as we look up. It definitely is not the one we are looking for, but it is very interesting as it has an arm coming out of the top with a lamp on it, assuming to make it more visible. We can't currently see the next one as it is behind a hoarding while St Lawrence Jewellery is renovated. As you can see, it is next to the Guild Hall, and like the other ones, it is dated by Historic England as around circa 1935 or before. As an aside, when I was walking around by this stage, I had noticed that most of these posts have been next to or near a Pret a Manger. There is obviously no connection, but does show just how popular this chain is in the City of London. This one is at the corner of Queen Victoria Street and Friday Street. It is a major junction, but the box is up against the wall, so again, not the one we're after. This one is off Walbrook, opposite the Bloomberg building, but again, not on a main road and right up against a building. At St Martin le Grand, we find this one with the old Museum of London building in the background, and beyond it the Barbican Towers. And finally, right next to the boundary of the City of London, we have the last one on the Victoria Embankment next to the Thames. And unlike most of the others, it has the Corporation of the City of London emblem intact. Well, none of the police stands we have seen have the same background as the original photo, though the boxes themselves look very similar to it, unlike the one in Piccadilly Circus. The police call stands that I have visited are all Grade 2 listed structures and are significant landmarks. On walking round, it was rare not to see people looking at them. So let's go back to the original photo for more clues. Looking at the buildings, there are no obvious shops or building names or iconic buildings or signs that we can use. There is a London Underground subway in the background, but I can't make out a name, and it is obviously at a major junction with traffic lights. Having just walked around a lot of the city looking at the police boxes and not having seen this particular junction, I went back to London Bridge. Well, I know I have been south of the river at the London Dungeon, and there is a major junction with the road and tube at the monument just over London Bridge, so I walked over the bridge towards it. There is an entrance to the London Underground to the Monument Station, so let's compare. The tube entrance in the 1982 photo is by a building with large columns, as is the entrance in the current photo. So let's take a move round and see where the police box should be. This looks like the right place, so moving over the road and stopping the video as close as we can to the original photo. The background looks the same, so this is the place, but the police stand is obviously not one of the ones that survived. Looking at the buildings and street furniture, working from the left, this building is empty in 2023, having previously been a House of Fraser shop. According to Saville's website, it is now modern offices wrapped in a period facade, and it is over a century old. Moving round, the office buildings in the distance look the same, but look up and see the change. See the walkie-talkie building, whose formal name is 20 Fenchurch Street and has a sky garden at the top. Looking at the street furniture, there is a barrier, but it is different, and there is also no bin. As an aside, I can't recall seeing a bin like this for a very long time. There's also a cover on the ground, which was not there before, which is probably where the box stood and could have been used to cover the original cables for the phone stand. It is interesting that in this fast changing city, the police box has gone and the street furniture has changed, but the buildings, or at least the facades, are pretty much the same. But we can see how the cityscape is changing by looking up at the walkie-talkie. It is also interesting that 8 police boxes have been listed and retained and restored in the City of London and are very popular with passers-by. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If so, please press the like button. I will be aiming to make similar videos, so please subscribe to the channel, click the alerts bell and add comments, especially with any additional information. Thank you for watching Eclectic Experience, change seen through images.